Hello! Today we're going to do another face-off. Well, I've got one of these little tiny razors. They're called the Mab. I've had quite a few of these, but I've never had one that I wanted to kind of restore in any way because they've had massive home wear and stuff. But look, they are a little diddy razor, and they're made by one of the only sort of non-Sheffield, well, steelworks basically. So they're from Birmingham. Well, I'm near certain they've used Sheffield steel, kind of, why wouldn't they? It was only up the road. But yeah, it's one of the only sort of Birmingham works that I can find. Some beautiful natural scales. It's a tiny bit loose in the old scales, but like I've said before, I'm not one to mess around with these natural scales, because if you crack them, it's just a bad day, that is. Bad day. It's got quite a cool grind on it. Well finished. You can still see some of the machining marks and whatnot. But on the whole, it's got quite a glossy kind of feel to it. The work coming down onto the tang's very nice. The Mab. Here's the box again. It's quite a nice box, this one as well. Again, it's one of the better boxes I've had. Got a sticker on the back, but you can't really make it out. There is some interesting ads you can find online to do with these, and one of them sort of says like about how these were quicker shaving than a normal size one, and he must have been almost some famous London barber. Well, I'm assuming he's a London barber. Some sort of famous barber that kind of where you could shave your face in 2 seconds flat. Interesting though. That's turn of last century. And the other razor I'm going to shave with today is this Ragg one. So it's the Napoleon razor, John and William Ragg, Sheffield, and it's got century edged into the face. It's in pretty good condition. There's a few like sort of pits on the back and that. I'm a bit undecided if I'm going to keep this one yet. I might. I'm umming and ahhing about it. Let's see how it shaves, eh? What's interesting though is like the old thumb notch. You don't get many Sheffields with thumb notch, and it's not as deep as like a Carl Victor's. It's got the little flicky point here that Mr. Carl Victor like put on his. But yeah, it's not as deep. It's kind of like a bit longer as well, if you know what I mean. It's pretty decent to strop as well. It don't really get in the way. The old CVs, they can get in the way of stropping a little bit, but you get used to it. Yeah, and I've not had many like John and William Ragg razors, full stop. And you know, I've read about the Napoleon razor quite a few times. I know it's just kind of like branding and whatnot back in the day. I'm going to be using the old Captain Fawcett's and the old synthetic Chubby 2. I thought I'd better go back to something that I actually like today in terms of my shaving soap, because I used the old Lemon Geo Thumper and I'm just not impressed with it again. So, but it is what it is. You know, I either chuck it away or use it. So, it's not something I pass on because I wouldn't want to inflict somebody else with it. No, it's not terrible, I just don't feel like it's getting much kind of slide and stuff, which is just a bit weird. But yeah, went on about it enough last video. Yeah, I think I've had about 3 of them Mab razors, and one of them had just a tremendous amount of homeware on it. It was unreal how much homeware it actually got on it. And that had natural scales as well, and I tried to save them scales, but I cracked them, taking them off. It was a really bad day, that is. It always is when you damage natural scales like that. So I've got one half for the scales that probably match up with another half of the other ones I've took off over the years. Mr. Carl Victor liked using them scales as well. Yeah, that's just instantly better. It's a wet and dreary day today in old England. It's certainly not much fun. I did a short little video today of that Dommer Swedish safety razor as well, if anybody's interested in watching it. That's a cool little razor, man. Just wish I had the time to get the blades ready so I could shave with it, but at the end of the day, sort of, you pass things along sometimes so somebody else can enjoy it as well. Whether it'll go to somebody who wants to put it into use or put it into their collection, I don't know, but whoever gets it will definitely enjoy it because it's nice just to handle it. You know, it's over, well, it's nearly 100 years old, a 1930s razor. But it's certainly not seen much use. And of all the safety razors I have handled over the years, it's probably one of the rarest. Right. So I've got the old John and William Ragg. I'm sure it's William. The only thing I don't like about it is the kind of like the width of the stabiliser, but that's just me being finicky. It's quite loud. I wasn't 100% sure on the heel on this. Yeah, the heel does need a little bit tiny work. Yeah, not much. Good steel on it though. It's quite smooth, quite audible as you can hear it. I'm sure you'll be able to pick that up. It's 100% like a full Sheffield hollow, if you know what I mean. There's no belly. Yeah, it's quite nice and tight. Like I said, the heel's just a tiny bit, well, not perfect, we'll put it that way. I might actually chase that stabiliser back a bit because on that side it's just started to hit where the stabiliser's kind of very beginning. So that might be, well, the issue. But nevertheless, it's a nice shave. So this, it's almost like a half hollow. I don't know if you're about to pick that up. It's almost like a half hollow, but not as well, if you know what I mean. Zero belly. Oh, it's a bit little. That looks weird. I'm not used to shaving with shorties. I've not really had many. Wow, it's a lot louder than I ever would envisioned. Different pitch as well. Sort of different pitch loudness. It's nicer. Yeah, it's very different from what I expected. I expected that to sound, well, basically quite quiet. I thought it was going to act like a, well, like a stiff, like a real stiff grind, because it kind of is. There's no, don't feel like there's any flex in it, there's no give. Yes, but it sounds quite sort of, well, almost a bit high pitch. Very much different to what I thought. Tiny bit of water. Give that a whirl. Let's go against the grain. Yeah, I might see if I can't get them pits out the background, because other than that it's nearly pristine. Oh, I've got a bit of a sore neck. That's the rag. I don't know, like the Napoleon razor, I have to have a look at, because I'm sure I've seen many Napoleon razors. I wonder what kind of, do they actually mean that there was something? I'll have a little look and try and find out. For a little razor, it's got quite a bit of sort of meat to it still, if you know what I mean. It don't really feel like a little razor, but obviously you're using one. So if you're not used to it, you definitely have to be a bit more kind of careful. I always say, if you change something that you're shaving with that's kind of sort of like a bit different, you always just have to be more aware. when I first put it to my face over here, it felt really, really strange. Even just looking at it, I felt like I couldn't see it. Right, that's it. No real nicks. A couple of tiny little weepers. Shave done. Really are some pretty scales on that one, I must say. The serrations kind of come out a bit more. It's almost like a bit of a wave pattern going on. Right, let's have a bit of a feel. If anything, I'd say the Mabs one. Tiny bit tighter. See how it goes. See if I get any irritation. I don't feel like I'm gonna, so I normally don't if I don't feel it. Right, I'm just gonna wash everything down. Leave the razors open after I've washed them down a bit and cleaned them. Get the soap scum off of them. Put them over the strop. Leave them in the open position for a while. And I don't mean like fully open, I mean like that kind of thing. In their working position basically. I'm going to use a bit of the old, what is it, Meadow? Is it Hayes Meadow? I'll have to have a look, I forget now. But anyway, my tallow that I use, I'll be using a bit of that today as well. Got some days of wet and grimy weather coming, I think. It's nice using a bit of that on days like that, especially if there's a bit of wind about, which there is. So this synthetic is quite different from the other one. So like this will stay like this for like, well, 12 hours. Whereas my other synthetic, you can literally like flick it out and before you know it, all the hairs are separated and everything. I'm not knocking it or anything, but basically it just acts more like a natural one. I think I did say about it in my last video, didn't I? Say it again. Right, I love you and leave you. I'll see you later. Goodbye.